Artists like Public Enemy are the gatekeepers of truth, civilization's radical voice. But they've also demonstrated the courage to rise above the hype of celebrity.
That was the oasis for our weightlifting program. 1244 Pike Street. All the hours that we lived under the basement in this building.
Help celebrate Miss Georgia's 89th birthday, Lord. She's lived a long life, and we pray that she continue, so I can continue to see her at her favorite shopping mall, her and her sister. Also, Lord, we just want to thank you for the food that we have here. It was cooked with plenty of love. Thank everyone that's participating. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen, girl. Amen, girl.
I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming out to make my birthday such a joyous occasion.
I'm Tony. That's Vicky. There's Charlie. That's us 60-something years ago, I guess.
Tony would call
Every single day he would call. And if he didn't get a hold of me, oh, he would just have a fit. And he's still like that to this day. Call me when you get there. Dun, 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 all that. Charles, he just calls whenever. And so they're so different when it comes to calling. Both good-hearted, both of my brothers. I love them dearly.
Vicky was wishing she was a boy at one time, but because Daddy was jumping him up and get all excited about us, and so she'd be sort of cool.
And it was not without the support of Mom and Dad, who were behind us 100%. We have a cheerleader, a little girl, our baby sister, and she was always being very supportive and proud of her brothers. She never bragged about us.
I was the babysitter in my city. Everybody wanted me to babysit because I was so good with the babies. It was a nice city. Going to school there. Liked my teachers, all my friends. I had a lot of good friends. So I enjoyed my childhood with my two brothers and all my friends.
A ghetto was a term that we heard a lot. I don't think at that age we really knew what it meant. We knew we were poor, and we knew a lot of times we came home there wasn't any food, although our mother and father worked, but I don't know, we were on welfare, I recall that. And the government used to send us cheese and eggs and powdered milk, things like that. And then our parents, they made sure that we ate, but like I said, it wasn't on any regular basis, I recall. And so we would hear ghetto, it's heard on the news or hear one of the older kids speak of it. But if we were poor, and we really didn't know it. We just got up, went to school, played with each other. We were friends and we made friends well. We lived in the neighborhood on 937 Pike Street. We knew everybody on Pike Street. We trained on Pike Street at Danny Cherry's home at 1244 East Pike Street. So getting out of there was not something that was on our mind every day, but playing ball at a higher level was on our mind every day.
He will apparently attempt the field goal. Campbell comes up at the 3-yard line. He looks back. It is good. It is good. For the 23-yard line. The Detroit Lions agree with Golden Brown. Nothing for first. And lead 3-0 at the midway point of the first period. The whistle with Campbell and Brown beats to receive. Second down. Jimmy Brown in the end zone takes it right away.
Dad knew that football was our prime ticket to get out of the ghetto. But we played religiously, and we would go home, telling Mom who won, and she'd take the clothes and put them in the hamper, wash us up, put us to bed, and we'd get ready for school, and then we'd go to school, and we would talk about it to the game. Hey, whoop y'all butt that day, didn't we? How you feel? How your leg feel? Did you lose any teeth?
It was really a real good experience for us to have at a real early point in time in our lives about teamwork and about being humble when you're experiencing a lot of success. And our father, his involvement in virtually making or supporting our growth into sports was just that there's no questions about it. Here's what you're going to do, and here's how you're going to do it.
Our father, like I say, he orchestrated that college, and it was just a shame that, he's not here today.
Tony, we may have to come back. But we managed to progress and go on beyond that and move to the next level. My next level, particularly after coming out of high school, I enjoyed the fact that I had a younger brother who wanted to reap the benefits, from things that I was doing. And so as a result of that, I felt myself having to be careful about what I was doing and coached by some people that I really liked. Mal Norton in high school, Jack Molenkoff in college, and both of those coaches were University of Miami graduates. University of Miami graduates happens to be at Miami University in Ohio. It's called the cradle of coaches. More coaches were coming from that university than any other school. But it had a tremendous impact on us, and a great to do with the developments and the fun of the whole idea. We were spared of racism to a great degree.
Like I said, the Hall of Fame is in Canton, and so football started here in Canton, which has produced, 16 professional athletes, all from the same school and coached by the same coach, Mel Norton. And I think that's a blessing. So we played the high competition. We wasn't ducking competition, so football was big business here in the Alliance, Canton, Massillon area.
But anyway, that led to obviously the NFL after Purdue and my being able to choose which team I was going to accept contracts with, and there was virtually all of them, and of all of them I chose to go to Buffalo Bills.
We worked. Our father was there every day, and my brother was real high, like I think he was the #1 draft choice. And Mr. Gallagher, Dick Gallagher, came to our home in Alliance, Ohio, one July, I think it was June or July, and they signed my brother. Quite naturally, everybody was elated. He got that big bonus money, brand new car and stuff like that. And I was kind of happy, but then again, I was sad. And I knew I was going to play football somewhere, I just didn't know where. And so Mr. G mentioned the fact that he was tired and he had to go to area Pennsylvania to sign another ball player. So my father told him, look, why don't you sign my son? And you can just rest here in Alliance, Ohio, and go and do what you got to do tomorrow. So then they got on the phone with Mr. Wilson, who owner of the Bills, and they saying, I know, he was saying, okay, it's a deal, we sign both of you. And I signed my stuff and got my money and went and got a car and circled the neighborhood, letting everybody know that King Brothers is getting ready to go to the big time, going to the TV.
That walk, but they started. These two started everybody to come together and said, see, if Charlie can do it, Tony can do it, I can do it too.
College was nice. It was a great experience, meeting different people from different walks of life. And most of the people at Findlay during those times were commuter students, people that drove in, lived in the city. Only the athletes, maybe other color, were people that came in to go to school there. I really wasn't fit for college, although I did fairly well. I didn't graduate, but I don't think I was no excellent student. I think I was just an average student, and I did average work, maybe enough to get by. And they didn't have any black girls on the campus, so that was a problem for us. We had to go to other cities to just see a black girl.
And it came to haunt me when I got traded. Well, we both got traded when OJ came to Buffalo. They traded a whole bunch of people, not just us. During that time, they didn't want blacks playing those two positions because it was too much like a quarterback. Before Kenny Houston and Frazier and a couple other guys came in there who were excellent athletes, as far as I'm concerned. And so I got cut at Denver because I didn't want to wear it's a certain sock, the tube sock. I didn't want to wear the tube sock, and I wanted two people to tape my ankle, which to them was like something very racial, I wanted to find out which guy taped ankles the best for me. So the next time I get my ankle tape, I could go to the guy to get my ankle tape. And they made a big issue about it, you know. It got real colored. So I'm in the dog hole, man, before we even get into the third practice session. And then I was really pissed off this. I go home and read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I'm sitting in a room, I never forget, man, room 201, hotel in Denver, Colorado, outside where the training camp is. And I started reading about Malcolm. I'm getting ready now because somebody's going to catch hell this next practice session. And then somebody knocked on the door. So I went to the door, man, peeked through the little keyhole, and it's a brother, offensive player from the Denver Broncos, first black center. Last name was Highsmith. And I opened the door, and something just was funny about it. I said, man, offensive players don't come to defensive players' room, you know? Hey, the offense is the offense, the defense is defense. They got a bigger book than we got. So it's 2 units. So I opened the door, you know, being new at the place, you know, new on the team. And I let him in. He said, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. He said, what you reading? I said, Malcolm X. And he just left. And the next, yep, you Tony King? Yes, sir. He said, you've been released. Man, I was hurt. I couldn't believe that. You know, so I asked my friend Drake Summers from Michigan State, could I borrow his car? And I got lost. And then I went to, I think the New York Giants, and they put me on their farm club. And I played there maybe 2, 3 years. I played for somebody too in Sacramento. Might have been Oakland's farm club. I wanted to do something where I could make, you know, some decent money, and it turned out to be films. Yesterday, I was a football player. Today, I'm retired. I got a commercial, I think, maybe the first week I was there. And the commercial won the Clio's, Pepsi Cola, 1970, I believe. So I said, okay, then that's how I got started in the film business and the commercial business. In 75 and 89, I was very busy. And, you know, I could tell they liked my work. And, you know, they would stop you and see you, man, when I'm gonna see you again? And I guess they do that to a lot of people. But I took mine personal because I did a lot of personal films. They were personable to me. And so a lot of times when they say, man, look here, I saw you in so-and-so, so-and-so. You know, and Sparkle has just been a classic for years. I mean, people just don't forget that one. And they really get caught up on it. You know, the guy's mad because you beat the girl, and the girl's just mad because you beat the pretty girl.
When I was a little kid, right, my aunt took us to the movies on 42nd Street to see this movie named Sparkle. Years after that, you know, I had a problem with one of the cats in the movie because he killed sister.
Yeah, the one called Sparkles. Some of the girls would come up to me and say, oh, your brother ought to be ashamed of himself the way he did that girl. And I would have to tell him, it's just a movie. Oh, I said, duh.
I liked playing the villain, you know, I really did. And I got a thrill out of it because I wasn't like that in real life. And I've never hit a woman, you know, so it was, when they get upset at me about the movie, I just, oh well.
My grandfather takes my brother and I to go see Sparkle, and he says, hey, that's your uncle right there. And I'm like, that's my uncle? I said, oh, he the man, you know, because he was the man in the film and I was a little kid. So when my mother came to pick me up and bring me back from Chicago, I said, hey, man, I saw Uncle Tony. He played Satin Struthers in Sparkle.
And a lot of people would tell me that they had seen the movie that he was in and, oh, he was really good. That was a good movie. He played a good part. So all the people that knew him enjoyed the movies.
After completing report to the commissioner, I was in, quite naturally, I was in mode 1. I thought I was one of the biggest things in the movie business. That's how I felt, just personally myself. In the process of doing a movie called Gordon's War, which we shot in New York City, that is my first contact with the Nation of Islam far as personally, because they did the security for the movie. And what fascinated me mostly, whenever there was a problem, as far as, somebody coming on the set trying to start trouble or something of that nature, they would remove this person or persons. But you never heard any ruckus. That fascinated me because I was seeing it, but not really believing. I wasn't hearing no ruckus. And he wasn't holding the guy over the mouth where he couldn't talk. And I invited some of the security guys to come to me and my girlfriend's home to eat, which was very surprising to them, to say the least. So they came, we sat, enjoyed each other's company, and we talked about Islam and the minister, and they asked me if I was interested in joining the nation. I said, I'm interested in listening. I can't say whether I would like to join at this particular moment. So he gave me a piece of paper. It was much larger than this. It was the New York Times. And he asked me to ball the paper up until I could ball it up in my hand without any of the paper creeping between my fingers. And he said, when you can do that, he said, you give me a call. His name was Moses Powell. We call him Master Moses Powell, who was in charge of security with Minister Farrakhan at that time. That is the champ. That's the champ. That's the champ. That's the champ there. I could feel the tension from the casting people and the associate producer and the producer, one of the directors, and it was kind of like, do you think you can get along with Jack kind of attitude, I said, hell, can Jack get along with me? I'm in the movie too. It ain't just one-sided, So I guess they said, well, he just ain't no regular nigga that we can just say anything to. He done bucked us right away. So I said, I wasn't trying to be that. I was just being direct. It's just, I can get along with anybody. And so Jack came in, and he didn't come. He was in when the conversation was being said, and he kind of looked at him like, little jerks. Why would you bring up something stupid like that to the young actor? And he said, I like him. And, that was that. He signed the paperwork, and the agents came in, and they set the writer down. And I asked for a lot of things, because I had never had a TV series before, but I seen what all the other guys that had TV series had. So I said, I guess I want that too. And the first thing I wanted was a Winnebago. 36 feet with a bar in it, a telephone. I didn't drink, didn't talk a lot, but I just wanted to have it in the trailer. And, I wanted a black driver, and I wanted a black stunt double, a black stuntman, although I do my own stunts, but I wanted somebody on there black to be on the payroll. I wanted the black hairdresser. I wanted black everything. And they just kind of looked at me like, who the hell does he think he is? So here I am at MGM, all this brass that didn't mean nothing to me, just a bunch of white folks giving orders. You know, so I said, well, that's what I want. It was 36-footer, and Jack, I can see Jack just smiling. And if it's in the writer, then they have to produce that.
You know, once I became a diabetic, he changed on how he looked after me and made sure that I was okay. See, but a lot of people do not do that. If everybody did that, there'll be a much better world. And this is what I love about this brother.
You know, right there was a Motown recording studio. So sometimes Michael Jackson, Jermaine, Tito, all of them would just come in here and, you know, heavily secured. All the stars that came in town, like from New York, everybody, for some reason, they would just say, man, you gotta go to Poinsettia. You gotta go to Poinsettia. You gotta go to Poinsettia. Just to see the basketball game, see all the fine men in the shorts with the pretty legs, and then the girls come through here. It was like like a big party. And we were here, like I said, every single day. Our wives or our family knew where we were at. We weren't in any trouble. They wouldn't look for us in jail or nothing like that. We're in the park, right here in the park. My father, when we were young, he made us eat a cigar, RG Dunn, and made us drink vodka when we was 8 years old. Very nasty. Felt like you're gonna die. So he broke us. He knew he was gonna have some pro athletes somewhere along the line. And then when we got out of the college and in the pro ball and back in here in these 80s, we tried a little reefer. Reefer make me move slow, like, you know. So I know lack, because I'm hyper. And then you try the cocaine, and the cocaine make me hyper. I was already hyper. So I was able to let that go, let the reefer go, and it wasn't a problem for me. And I thank God every day, man, because I lost a lot of friends in them 80s and 90s through drugs. Life don't just come. You gotta put some time in. I mean, your chances of survival are slim for what you see on that TV. Put it on there to make you a dominant force. And then our young kids have to look at it. Be it insurance or some little health diet. When the last time you seen a black angel on TV? So, you know, a lot of kids, man, if they don't see it, they won't try to reach it. You know, they just keep seeing what they see on TV. You know, I remember watching Tarzan, man, beat 100 natives and was rooting for Tarzan. What kind of shit is that? How's a man gonna beat 100 natives at their game?
But in order for slaves to run away from home, this was the savior. I was telling them earlier about, you know, if you choke a chicken in the barnyard, when you enter the barnyard, he makes a noise. But when you choke him, he'll numb you up. He'll never make another sound. You can run away as a slave and steal a chicken, take it down the road, build a fire, and have a meal with meat and vegetables. and all the different vegetables that we eat. But there was an art for survival.
It took me a long time before I could ball this paper up in my hand, like he asked. And the temptation to cheat is great. So he's told me sometimes to put my hand back behind me or put it in my pocket and take the pain coming from the owner and the radius and the owner. You know, that you would feel it in your arm. And finally when I got it, and I called him up. And he invited me out to a meeting, which I attended, and was overly impressed. So I say to myself, that's Louis Farrakhan, and that's what this is all about.
Later during the time of Malcolm X, we started calling him the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Messenger Muhammad. He's growing among us. He's doing things that we see, and it's amazing, but we haven't caught on yet. Yes, sir. He takes junkies, he straightens them up. You bear witness to this now. Yes, we came to the messenger bent over, and when he got finished with us, we were walking tall. Is that right? He came to us, brother, our skin dark. When he got finished talking to us, we began to shine. Eyes bright. Is that right? Sisters came to him with the mini dress. And when they looked around, sister had on an ankle-length dress. Felt too dignified to put on that filth anymore. The nation of Islam was born out of those who were the worst of the people. The winehead, the pimp, the hustler, the convict, the prostitute. It was only in the late 40s, early 50s, in the middle 50s, that somebody with some kind of college education came to the nation. This is the way all the prophets began. All right.
I used to go fly to Chicago, listen to him speak all the time, and I like what I heard, just like you like your mother's food.
If you love life, then don't play games with the destiny of a people who are crying to breathe free.
Most all of the flock knew who I was from the movies that they had seen of me on the screen, so they were quite elated, quite happy to have me in the crowd. I had never been involved in being with a group where they showed that kind of love for you. And I knew my love was kind of predestined because I was a film star, somebody that they saw on the screen regularly. I went up on the stage to help set the stage up at the Madison Square Garden. And all of the time I can recall, I knew I was an actor, and in acting, a lot of times we help each other with our lines and roles and things like that. So I transferred it into an area that I shouldn't have. In the process of trying to help them prepare the stage for Minister Farrakhan to come and speak. And this was in the midst of a lot of negative press that he was receiving in the newspaper. I mean, very negative press. From nigger this to nigger that. From this man to that man, never using his name, you know. It opened up your propensity to be violent when you have to be violent. That's what it did to me. So there I am on the stage helping.
Some of the brothers knew me and some of the brothers didn't. This particular brother, who was, I think, a captain or either a minister at a mosque in New Jersey, kept asking me who I was and would I please get off the stage. And I said, my name is Tony King and I'm helping the minister. And this went on for 4 or 5 minutes. And then it got to the point where he put his hands on me physically to remove me from the stage. And I said, I'm just trying to help, brother. I don't mean no harm. I'm just trying to help him. And at that moment, Moses Powell, who I spoke of earlier, came by and says, man, he's all right. He's all right. Let him go. And he let me go, and we continued to prepare for his speech. We were anticipating a full house, and people were coming from trains, subway, cars, bicycles, motor scooters, anywhere they could. And the press just kept slamming and mudslinging the minister. And so, well, okay, fine. They're going to do what they're going to do, and the press has always been an enemy of truth. So we just let that go, and minister had, told us how to resolve that, how to handle it. And as it progressed to the moment, the time for the event, maybe 8 o'clock that night, and the place was full. So they had to add another room outside of Madison Square Garden where they could house people, as well as, put up a screen and microphone so that they could hear the lecture. That was a real special moment for, I think, any black youth, and I consider myself such. I felt real proud about being able to help him. Help him meaning what? From an acting perspective. In the limelight all the time, on TV all the time, doing interviews all the time, donating money or having money donated from friends to the nation. I thought of all those things, and time just, and you could hear the crowd, you could hear the police yelling at people, calling them names. You could hear the hoofs on the horses outside, fast stepping sometimes slow stepping, just in every effort to intimidate, always to intimidate. So you just had to deal with that. And I wasn't outside a lot. I was only outside when I chose to go outside to see it from my own perspective. I said, okay, fine. Now it's about 10 minutes to 8. The crowd is vacillated, man. I mean, they're hot. They're ready. And as you look out in that crowd, you've seen every nationality of people you wanted to see. It wasn't no black thing. You saw a people thing, a desire to hear the truth from a man that's been speaking the truth from day one. This wasn't Jesse, it wasn't Al, it wasn't Robert, it wasn't Bobby, it wasn't Jim, it wasn't Martin, it was Louis Farrakhan. I don't say that to knock those names that I mentioned, because we all had a place to preserve, to help our people. But this one seemed different. And all of a sudden, you've seen an entourage of women. I mean, just his daughters. All of them, 5 of them, and the sons marching to the front of the stage. I mean, you never forget it. And they were sharp. They were sharp. Sharp, they were sharp. And they was focused. This wasn't no game. And when they came out, they rotated to the right, then they rotated back to the left, just in unison. I mean, like they had practiced it every day. And the crowd was just yelling. You couldn't hear nothing. Abdullah was just saying, Louis Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan. And the people were just, and then they settled down to a central point there in the middle of the stage. I had a seat on the front row sitting next to Bob Law. Oh, I was feeling very good. Very, very good. I mean, I love the movies, but I had forgotten about it that particular moment. And then he started. And the security was just, I mean, I wanted to go put on another suit and just join them and be right there with the brothers and the sisters. And let me see, by that time, I think, I had changed my name to Malik Farrakhan with his approval at the final call, I think in 1983. So they knew me as Malik Farrakhan, actor Tony King.
You're a grown man now, strong and full of pride.
Ohio, my mother and father and brother and sister were at odds with the name change. And my mother spewed some words out of her mouth about the minister that I didn't like. I said, Mom, don't say that because you don't know that about him. And I told my father the same thing. And my brother didn't say anything. He was in the nation earlier and ran into an experience that he did not like, and he left the nation.
And when Malcolm X was assassinated is when I left the Nation of Islam, because they indicated that at least it's already filmed where the reason for his assassination and why it had an impact on me. I joined the Nation of Islam for a period of time. Malcolm X happened to have been just really a great leader at that time. No problems with the Nation of Islam regarding what he was doing and his boldness, both in the United States and abroad. So I respected his decision on who it was, regardless of whether it was Catholic, Baptist, Islam, whatever.
You know, it didn't even faze me one bit. It didn't faze me when he said he was going to change his name. Okay, and it's fine with me. I couldn't speak on how my mom and dad felt, but I know it was okay with me. He was still my brother.
So I figured that, you know, I was grown enough and old enough that I could make decisions like such without having to go through big altercations with my mother and father. So my mother kept blasting. And weeks went by. We don't talk. Minister Farrakhan had a lecture in Dayton, Ohio, at Wright-Patterson Air Force Field out there, one of the buildings. So I said, okay, I'll fix that. I'll bring my mother and my father with me. Then they don't have to be worried about what the press told them. So we went, got checked and everything. My mother didn't know anything about that check process, and my father, so they weren't used to people searching them. You know, and they both very physical. So that created a little altercation right there in the line. But we got past it, they got searched and everything was okay. And they came in and we sat down and we watched the lecture. And they didn't even go to the bathroom. 2-3 hour lecture. And both my parents have bladder problem. I had to go to the bathroom every now and then. They never went. So I would peek at them every now and then. I'd look at them like that. Mm-hmm. So she said, son, we apologize, your father and I. And my dad, she said, I apologize, son, we were wrong. Oh man, I was so happy. Whew, my own mother and father. You know, I didn't want to, you know, split them because of the minister. And the minister wouldn't want me to do that because of them.
It's on Lewis.
It sure is him. His wife.
Mother Khadijah.
Yeah, that's her name, sure is.
I got a memory like an elephant.
Yeah, they took you up on the stage on the dais. This is Tony King's mother.
To me, it reminded me of Muhammad Ali when he wouldn't take that step to go into the service because of his religious beliefs. And he changed his name from Tony King to Malik Farrakhan. It gave me more respect for Tony because here's a man was at the top of his career in the movie industry that knew and was told that if he did this, that they was gonna blackball him. He wasn't gonna get called for many roles anymore. And that is exactly what happened. It takes a hell of a guy to do something like that. Everybody wouldn't do that.
We were on a flight going somewhere, and their Public Enemy was coming in, and he had knew of them, and they knew him, because they used to talk about him on their music. And so he had asked me would I take care of him, you know, just out of the blue. And I said, sure. And then they asked me, and then they titled me as chief of security, and I've been that for 20 years.
Yeah, say what you order.
World out of order, paid the cost, father time ain't never lost. The boss, y'all ain't heard it, I work it. The senior circuit, see some quit it, cause they don't get it, fire music. My aim is, forget what my name is. Yeah, I ain't famous to be famous. Remember Troy Davis, beware, Clive Davis wanted to your art form. Cause there's a party going on. Hotel, motel, I'm going in. Don't care what they spent, can't prevent the event. Some run to it, shun from it. Been through it, I still rock to it. I sue it, I've been sued, dude. With this news fit to spit, and a beat goes on. Come on.
The whole thing of meeting with Brother Malik for working with the Nation of Islam, and also we had a chance occurrence. He probably knows the better story with me, but it seems like Malik has been there forever, and he's been there almost 20 years, and we've been around 22 years. But he's just the greatest guy. And the thing is somebody I listen to his mentorship, his leadership, and also just the fact that he was in the sports world, Hollywood, and also this introduction in music, and also he's had many lives all into one, and he's the best man.
As a fan from the band, when you listen to the music or look at the videos, you never really have a chance to see Malik as a member of the group. He's always kind of a person behind the scenes. You see his name in the liner notes of the albums, but he never catches your eye.
I tried to learn from his wisdom. You know, I mean, he was from a generation before me that went through a lot more and persevered a lot more. So.
And I just want to say the thing that's genuine that I'm part of in the world is his life. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just don't know, man, you know, like just how honored I am to be able to even know this man, first of all, you know what I'm saying? And he's been a blessing since he came into the life of Public Enemy. Even though we be out on the road and everything, you know, we always, you know, all groups are going to have ups, all groups are going to have downs, but that's what family is about, you know what I'm saying? We're not just a group, but we're a family.
First time I met Brother Malik was probably about 13 years ago. He's the chief of security, he holds us down. He's the elder statesman of the group, so we definitely, you know, listen to him. We got to show him that respect and follow his lead. I just think it's an honor to be able to have such a man as part of our organization. You know, security, that's a very little small part of it. Brother Malik is a presence with Public Enemy, and that's the most important thing. Sometimes I get frustrated because there's people within the organization who get involved in things and they don't ask Malik for counsel. And I just think that that's a waste of a resource. If you're getting in TV or movies or whatever, you can ask Malik some questions, he can give some answers. That would be really seriously securing. Same thing if you want to get into a workout regimen, you want to get into sports, you want to be able to understand business, you want to understand just the politics of how human beings interact with each other and people. You want to go into a different country, you want to be able to be humble. There's a lot of things that I feel that everybody should be able to learn from what Malik gives us by just being there. So cheapest price to pay is attention. How much of us pay attention is, is something to take advantage of what Malik has to give to us.
Then in 2003, I had the chance to see the band for the first time in Belgrade on their tour. Just getting to know the band and talking to Chuck. There was this tall, older guy with a beard catching my eye, and I was interested. I started talking to him and just found out what an intriguing guy he is and how essential he is to Public Enemy as a group. Until today, I cannot think of Public Enemy without thinking of Malik and really at the center of it, like a backbone of the group. He is the one holding them all together, really.
Started working for Public Enemy then, didn't have a whole lot of free time. Then I would come back and play a lot of tennis. It enables you to make friends with people through a sport, you know, because normally people of different races and stuff, you don't get along with somebody unless you playing some particular sport with them. And you find out that we bleed, he bleed, you bleed, I bleed. I got a mother, he got a mother, my sister got hurt, my sister, you know, just a great fraternity.
Let's get some of these kids back here, some of these people back here, you know, to speak with some of these young kids who are changing daily. You know, oh, these kids were nothing like the kids who were 25, 30 years, 40 years ago. These kids were, you know, not involved in drugs and a whole lot of things. You know, we're double duty to someone like yourself and I coming into this area and speaking to these kids in this area. I don't recall Barnett doing it. I don't remember Tom Gooseby doing it. These are other superstar football players almost before you and I were born.
Yeah.
But none of them ever came back and spoke while I was in high school or junior high school.
We didn't see anybody black, King.
Nobody.
From elementary all the way up to college.
Yeah.
We didn't even have one in college come up and talk to us.
Yeah.
No regrets, no regrets.
Graduated in 1961 and 1962, went on to college, went on to play professional football, most notably with the Buffalo Bills in 1967, where they became the first African-American siblings to play on the same professional sports team together. And that's been recognized in the Hall of Fame, and they had quite the distinguished career as athletes here at Alliance and also professionally. But beyond that, they've done a lot of other things too. And the important thing today to get out of it is that, you know, everybody can succeed. People from Alliance can succeed. People from small towns can succeed. We think just because you're from Alliance, you can't get anywhere. You can't see the world. You can't do things. Well, both of these gentlemen have been there and done it twice over, and they've been very, very successful with their lives. And so take it away with Mr. King, I believe. I can't go wrong by saying Mr. King.
What I do is sort of quick and short like that while Tony and I work together. And nothing is more important to me in putting together information to share with people is asking them to intelligently utilize 5 W's and an H. You get what you believe could very well be the truth. If it isn't, if you don't think it's of truth, then ask another question using any one of those 5 subs and a W, and you come up with an answer, and still be friends. You know, have you ever heard in your life, wow, I can gather all that important information just by virtue of the questions that I use. And now you can make what? An intelligent decision about whatever it is in this world you want to do. Amen, TK. If you like that, you can clap. If you don't, you know, how do you get away with that?
So anyhow, I started a fire over there where Lester, after he had got drunk, set the little building on fire. I mean, not the building, but the trees and stuff. And Lester gets caught in the fire. I let him burn up for a little while, and then I went in there and got him. And dragged him out. And here comes Lester's wife. The Negro saved my husband. The Negro. I mean, 4 times. The Negro saved Lester. And after the 4th time, I was beginning to think I was a Negro. The Negro saved Lester. And so now, we go back in the office. I'm an honorary student now. I got a plaque up on the wall. I done saved the president's daughter's husband. And you got to live in this kind of country. That's why I'm telling you. Because it's rough. But you can just work your way through. Just work your way through. Study, prepare, go to the library, listen to those who's talking about something that means something. Chuck D told me a long time ago, say something that means something. I'm talking about understand who you are, what you brought to the table. Understand what George Washington Carver brought to the table. You put makeup on and lipstick on and lotion this morning, that's from Carver. When you brush your teeth and brittle, that's from Carver. When you stop at that red light, that's Garrett Morgan.
When you go to Washington, D.C. to look at all the monuments, black men designed Washington, D.C. Don't think you just a nigga, because you're not. You're not. And don't get caught up in one of them call you that. Oh, yeah, okay, fine. Keep going. I mean, you should know better, but keep going. Don't let that slow you down. They called us that so much in football, we thought that was our name. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Whatever you want to do, you can do. You just got to want it. And if you don't want it, that desire won't get it. Because it's going to be rough, it's going to be rough, it's going to be racial, it ain't never going to get right.
I think the most amazing thing is when you think about gentlemen like these and so many others have come out of Alliance. Alliance is a diversified city, and a lot of people have been very, very successful in this town. Two gentlemen are good. Zine, thanks.
Being part of a Hall of Fame is very special because it's the epitome of achievement. And when the Hall of Fame of anything recognizes your achievement, it's not to be slept on, it's not to be taken lightly. So the fact that Malik, aka Tony King, and his brother Charlie King have exceeded into the Pro Football NFL Hall of Fame is an accomplishment that we don't take lightly. You know, we're very proud of that. We are really thankful that he's been able to give us everything he's had, but also to give me a great peace of mind and guidance and leadership. So that's why I love him. And like I said, you can see him right in effect right now. Right in the middle of Paris, France. Right in the middle of Paris, France, navigating a crowd that probably wants to be involved all the way to the break of dawn.
I'm happy. It's about time.
The Hall of Fame?
Long time coming. You finally got it.
Yeah, I mean, you figure.
All them years, everybody else getting some recognition for some
And
stuff.
not only that, though, it's so major. You figure Hall of Fame, just the actual words, the Hall of Fame. Like, you are put in a class with people that have done such outstanding things, such major accomplishments that they've made, you know what I'm saying? Such kind of doors they've opened for people. It's major. It's a wonderful accomplishment. You look at it and you say, you know, you can look at your life and say, look what I've done. Look what I'm gonna do, but look what I've already done. So I myself think it is the bomb. High five to me.
Yeah, another one.
I didn't expect it. I didn't know until they told me. And I was very happy for them, excited. Wow.
It was a lot of fun, remarkable, happening. Not as remarkable as it is today. My having stayed in touch with the Buffalo Bills people and stayed in touch with the director of Hall of Fame football here in the Canton area. By sharing with them, you know, the possibilities for display of some sort, featuring my brother and I, as it relates to professional football. They thought it was a good idea. As a result of that, they put a glass frame, if you will, for with the business card. That's the virtual picture there at the Hall of Fame. And now those are all good experiences.
Maybe a couple months, maybe a year ago, the money came in. They were going to spend $2 million for the veterans, if I'm not mistaken, and $100,000 for I think African American. That's how I don't know why it got in the areas that it do it. That's a different committee.
Well, here at the Hall of Fame, each room has kind of a theme.
Okay.
And remember, the rotunda used to be the first 100 years.
Right.
Then we had the enshrinement gallery.
Right.
Then we had African American pioneers.
Right.
Then we had moments and memories for the Hall of Famers. Then we had the other leagues that competed against the NFL. Then we have more of the modern records and stuff. And each room had its own theme. And this is one of the displays that's going to get expanded.
We have traveled back and forth with the Buffalo Bills and to the various banquets and events that they've had there up in Buffalo. So it's been a real fun life. And I think the most exciting time was when they actually went into the Hall of Fame from the history side of the first African American brothers. When they found out that they were the first African American brothers to be drafted and play on the same team at the same time, that was just the height of the football career. And they really enjoyed that. And it's been a great boost to the family as well.
You know, a lot of times you don't get a chance to reap the benefits of all of the things that you do. When you think about the Malcolm X, the Martin Luther Kings, the Medgar Evers, man, they never had a chance to really see the impact that they made. I hope that Uncle Ronnie and Uncle Tony actually get a chance to see the impact on the people that they made. I don't think they look for the recognition, man. I've never seen that about them. But they really impacted a lot of people in Stark County and throughout the world. And they just do it because of who they are, man. And, you know, man, Georgia's strong lady, man. And I see where they get it from. Strong.
You know, this being the Football Hall of Fame and the two brothers coming from Alliance, going to college and then from college getting drafted to play for the Buffalo Bills, the AFL, the first African-American brothers. I call them Siamese twins, but one is night, one is day, one is up, one is down.
They are the only brothers in professional football who played together on the same team at the same time. African-American group. What better opportunity than to share that with those who make the decisions as to why and what. I would be thinking about what a great opportunity is for me. As I'm the chairman of the board for the Hall of Fame of NFL, and I see myself saying, Jesus Christ, these guys did something that nobody did. What about those other 6,000 guys that are already up there? They did something that nobody else did.
I said it was a challenge in general. So the long road to the NFL Hall of Fame is just an addition to the hard work. You know, a lot of people worked hard and didn't get to go there.
Right.
A lot of people did more than we did and didn't get to go there.
Right.
Our success wasn't 100 yards a day, touchdowns, and 35 tackles a week. Our acceptance in the exhibit that they honored us with in 2008 was for the first African-American siblings to play professional football on the same team at the same time, whether it was for one play or 20 plays. We accomplished that feat in 1967, and we feel that qualifies us to be in the Hall of Fame. So the long road starts now because we're getting all these little different answers, and the racism shows up, the politics shows up, you know, the incoherency shows up. I mean, what's the problem? I realize everybody can't go into the NFL Football Hall of Fame. Everybody can't go in the bathroom at the same time. Everybody can't go to college. Some kids just don't want to go to college. Some kids are fortunate, some kids get scholarship, some kids get money. But we played against some of the guys that are in the Hall of Fame on the wall that are under the auspices of first African Americans to do something in a professional capacity. Yeah, we angry? Yeah, we bitter. We bitter. We were bitter players. You know, we took that racism, so we damn sure can take this, because it doesn't stop. No, it doesn't stop. No, it does not stop. It does not stop, you know.
Even in the 60s, Friday nights had lights. Alliance aviators kicking off, take flight. Remembering a day past, fitting for a king. Waiting for the time and the place to bring two brothers, one high school, one field. An iron grid peels, leaves talent revealed. Exposing two brothers who were already kings. Separated in college, it's the way of things. Reuniting Buffalo in the cold and snow. But paid for the game, now the brothers are pro. Same league, same team, both with the same dream, making history heretofore still unseen, recognized by the hall with little fame. Recognition came subsequent to the game. A first is forever, so there'll never be another. Royalty, peace, and love, the King brothers.
We down with the kings, down with the kings. Down with the kings, down with the kings, down with the kings, down with the kings, down with the kings.
We got to where we have set our sights on getting, that you can do the same thing we did. We're no different than you. We just worked hard. There's a price you have to pay.
Down with the kings. Once upon a time before the king, there was 2 kings in Ohio where they did their thing. Gridiron fire, trying to tell y'all why these kings got a story to bring. Either you can or can't, cannot do is not an option. In the OH10, next of kin, can I add a G in the land below Cleveland? Fit for a king, wanna see it again? Long road to the Hall of Fame. Fame sounds like a win. Charles and Anthony as children, growing up to Charlie and Tony as veterans. 3D triple threat, ball, movies, and music. Music was not seen yet. These real Ohio players, tale of 2 brothers, strong father, sister, and mother. We down with the kings, down with the kings. Down with the kings, down with the kings, down with the kings, down with the kings, down with the kings.